Hi, I'm your host, Shenea Stiletto, and this is Think Like an Acrobat, a series where we reveal pro tips and secrets about the circus business, information that will blow your mind to have access to. We want you to think outside the perceived circus box and develop the capacity to outsmart the system. On this episode of Think Like an Acrobat, I'm going to interview director and choreographer Sebastien Stella, and he is going to teach you how to direct for yourself when projecting circus into new performance arenas. Hi, Seb. Thank you so much for coming on to Think Like an Acrobat today, all the way from Tahiti, where you run the Tahiti Show Concept, which is an entertainment specialist company and talent booking agency providing entertainment options around French Polynesia, which is so amazing.
Hi, Shenea. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, we're here in Tahiti and happy and trying to create again a new way of entertainment and provide entertainment that people don't see every day, and even with production coming from outside our borders, trying to provide everything they need, and happy to do it.
Well, Seb, so today you are going to teach us how to direct for ourselves, because you're responsible for some of the most famous innovation in projecting circus into new, very unique and different arenas. Before you, circus was abundant, but limited in terms of where you would expect to see a show, either in a big top or a theater. But with your visionary abilities as a director and choreographer, circus became accessible in so many different spaces, and you are so legendary for laying the groundwork for how to adapt circus into arenas like concerts, like you did for singers like Pink and Cher. You've created for Katy Perry and Britney Spears, epic movies like Water for Elephants, circus competition TV shows like The Best in France, exotic music videos, and specialty commercials in Hollywood and all over the world. This has spiraled into circus adaptation into spaces once unheard of, but is now generated rapidly all over the world. However, it comes, with some difficulties, as some productions who want to project circus into new spaces don't always have the experiences available as someone like yourself, who was an actual circ artist as well. And so productions at times fall short of realizing their circus imaginings, living in the new source or showcase that they've devised. So this is our effort to fill in those gaps for those pursuing these rapidly evolving paths, no matter their position within an innovative production. And so, Seb, please give us your reflections on this, and please tell us how directing circus has evolved over the years beyond the circus tent or theater.
Well, for me, it started, like you said, as a performer. So I knew circus on the format of a new generation of the modern circus. The end of the traditional circus. I belong to that generation. Starting my career as a performer in mid '90s, and so I saw the circus become open to everyone in terms of audience, but also in terms of production. Today, definitely circus spilled from the theater and the tent to the movie industry, to the music industry, to the commercial industry. Those are the three poles I find myself creating for, and I saw a big evolution in terms of cinema. I had project like Water for Elephants, which is a circus theme, but I had also some movies. I'm going to take for example, the Oz the Great and Powerful, where they called me to have the feel of creating a scene during a circus era at the beginning of the 20th century, but it was actually recreating carnival scene for Disney, for Oz. And so we were in a different time, but not doing circus, but introducing circus in that era. So that was a new thing also, and on a platform which is cinema, not a live show. I had to do some commercial where I had to fly a car in the air, and for Toyota, for example, and I have a flying trapeze artist getting along with that car as it was a member of the troupe. So again, circus without really just doing circus, but bringing the circus performance, the circus design, the circus movement, and support to a brand, to a product, to a character for a movie, to a song, to lyrics, to a dance movement. You know, you can have like also we find ourselves creating for a dance choreography, which is like the identity of the piece is dancing, but we incorporate the circus movement and as a support, a visual support to it, and make it a success. So yeah, definitely it evolved a lot. Even in terms of branding for a commercial, we have to do it here also with my company. Not so long ago, we did this event, the live event for the release of a new beer. So the brand of the beer came to us with their marketing strategy, where you have to adapt your circus vision to it, and not again doing just circus for yourself or for a circus audience, but have that circus touch, that circus romanticism, you know, to the brand, and bring it at the right moment and on the right vision for them to be able to push and support the new product. So again, this is definitely circus today. It's a I call it a weapon. You know, it's something that if you take the responsibility to be a circus performer, don't forget that it's a weapon in terms of it's a tool. It's a very powerful tool that can be the greatest for your career.
What is the secret to bringing new life to a production that wants to incorporate circus into it?
So the secret was like really, yeah. When I saw that question, I went into putting myself when I have that first meeting with people. The first thing, when they want to introduce the circus, they don't even know really what is circus, and they have this idea. So you have to build a trust first as a creator, as a director, or as a choreographer, with the people with the producer, and you have to build a trust of what is the vision of the circus they want to incorporate, so that you can really understand what they want. Is it the movement? Is it the ambience? Is it the design, the costume, the makeup, the acting? Is it the modern circus? Is it the avant-garde circus? Is it the traditional circus? I mean, I faced like a lot of different options, but the first thing to incorporate is to build the trust with the producers and all the people will involved in that project, and then from there you start to build a relationship where we work together into developing what they want to do with the circus. So what I mean by that is, as a creator, you do come and say, people say, I want to incorporate the circus. I say, yes, everything's going to fly, everything's going to flip, don't worry about it, because then you make a mistake. And then they're going to be shy about it because they're going to be very impressed. So it's us, the circus people, to take them into their beautiful idea, but to drive them into it and that to get the best results for them, not for you. And that's how I would really be careful when it comes to new project, is to really make your research, understand the project, understand the people you're talking to, and then start to go into the creativity, the safety, the appearance, the logistic behind it.
Can you take us behind the scenes, Seb, of how you've choreographed or directed a particular scene in an untraditional circus arena and break it down a little bit?
Yeah, I got a good example for that. It was a sci-fi called me one day for their competition show. They have a reality show. It's called about makeup. It's Face Off. So it was a show on we have Face Off on sci-fi, and I went through a friend of mine, which is she's the artistic director of Cirque Berserk. And she called me. She said, like, Seb, I really, this is what's happening. We have a TV show about makeup, and it's a competition show, but they want to create a cosmic circus. They call it cosmic circus. So they want a circus that push the work of the makeup artist on every performer. But instead to just throw any artist like that with the makeup and judge it, we want to create a scene and recreate a very well done circus, existent circus, but it's a cosmic circus. So all those people are monsters. So that was very interesting for me. So then I had to create, starting from every makeup, I had to create a character. And I had to find that character, what kind of circus technique would do, and also create that scene and choreograph it in terms of a movement where you have circus by non-circus people, I mean, characters, but performed by real actors and circus performers. You know what I mean? It can be very complicated, but it was very clear to the production, to what they wanted at the end. So here we are in the middle of a studio where there's basically nothing. Maybe like there was like 3 satellite stages, like really, really low. And I had, a couple of beams where we could fly some stuff. So that was very interesting because we had to do it like in 2 days. And so I had the steer wheel guy, I had 2 aerialists, I had 2 tumblers, I had all those couple of people, and we created the scene, and it worked perfectly actually. And I was happy, and I was really the challenge to use the circus, but not starring the circus in the project. The star was the makeup and the competition. So yeah, that was very special.
How do you direct a crew or producers when projecting circus into a space that they have no experience with themselves? For example, they may be totally used to only working with traditional actors, and that's of course very different than circus performers.
So that reflects most of my work in commercials, and couple also of a project in circus, in movies, sorry. If like for Water for Elephants, for example, you have those brilliant actors. They gave me Reese Witherspoon and Christoph Waltz, and both of them are Oscar winners. So here I am with 2 Oscar winners where they know acting and they have to act and create the characters as circus performers. So for me, I had to gain the trust to drive them and direct them. Again, direct to 2 Oscar winners. You have to be ready. And the simple thing is like you have to be passionate and true with yourself. so that the actors, the true professional actors, going to really absorb everything you said in terms of the circus world to work with for his character. This is really building a trust and spend a lot of times and respect. Like you say, it could be an actor or a dancer. Respect the art of that artist and introduce yours for him to use. And again, a lot of young creators or young performers sometimes create an act or create a piece or direct something with the for their own belief, their own love of what they want to see. But that's not what you're not there for that. You have to understand you're a second person. You have to back up. You have to give the tools. You have to direct the tools to have the tools grow and the artistry grow with those actors or dancers are not from the circus, but using the circus and let them showing you what they learned from you. And you have to back up, because what's going to happen from the in front of the camera or on stage is what it is important, is the priority. So again, you have to go deep, create a relationship, teach them, drive them, give them the information about circus they don't have, but then you really have to back up. It's not about you, it's about them. And this is, I mean, me, I love to do that. I really like to for me, it's like a it's like creating a kid, you know. It's just like you have those kids playing and you say like those are my kids, you know, they look what they can do. And that's the feel you should have, the feeling you should have. In terms of at the same level as the producer, almost, you know, producer's going to back up also. It's just going to look at his movie and you're going to look at what you did for the movie. So actually your partner in that is the director of the movie or the commercial, and the producer, not the actors. The actors are the one who creating the thing. You just help them with that. And that's very important to understand.
Do safety measures remain constant for production, or does shifting the show to a different country or setting or arena mean reevaluating those measures?
For this, I'm gonna explain with Pink, you know, because I created a couple of acts for her, but one was really had a lot of risk. Was the cradle act for the song Sober, that we also perform during the 2009 World Tour for Pink, Funhouse Tour. Yes, definitely the safety measures are the same, and yes, definitely they have to be readapted on every arenas. We were performing on all arenas around the world. So with different, we have our crew, but we have also local crews and local safety protocols that they have. And that was clear for me when I took the contract. It's like that, okay, we do the fun, the creative part, we choreograph, we fly, we, you know, the song and everything. But every show, every arenas, I had the crew, I asked for the crew to call me every time in every country we arrived, and I would go in the grid with them and make sure we have our setup backed up by their protocol. Safety is as important as the creativity. I mean, you can do one without the other. And the safety is just part of the your professionalism when you do that. And yes, when we tour around the world, that's a perfect question. I had exactly the same situation, and I would check every brain of the safety rope or the span set. I would check every swivel and carabiners with my crew and the local crew, and if there's a different, try to get what's the different on the safety protocol they have. But definitely the safety is a universal worry, you know, that you have to have all the time, wherever you are. And like I mean, I was laughing because when it comes to some countries, they make great efforts, but like French Polynesia, they don't have that level of technical safety, but they have the heart to do it. So that's something to respect too. So when I arrived there, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys, you know that's great. But now I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna tell you what to do with safety to make sure that we are 100% minimum of what we do, not guessing on a certain way to do safety. So yeah, no, it's important wherever you are. It should be the same amount of safety, the same trust in your safety.
How should an artist develop their skills and talents creatively and strategically in a business-minded sense in order to be competitive within unique circus arenas?
Yeah, so I think by experience, being an artist has to understand he's an entrepreneur. He is an entrepreneur. Okay, so that's very important to understand. When you're a young artist, you're like, oh, I want to change the world. I'm so artistic. I'm so cool. I'm so beautiful. I'm so talented. Yeah, okay, you are so good. All right, now you get to survive with that. All right, so it's very important to learn about entrepreneurship. It's very important to learn about business. It's so important to understand what's an agent, what's a manager, what's a production. In terms of artistic, it's very important. As a young circus performer, I graduated from 3 acting school as a young actor. I put on the side the fact that I was already a circus performer, but I graduated from Studio Pygmalion in Paris, from Stella Adler in Hollywood, from UCB. You have to teach yourself. You have to put yourself artistically in position where you don't know what to do, because as athletes, artistic athletes, which is a circus performer, you know how to flip, you know how to fly, I mean, I had to do crazy stuff or whatever at Cirque du Soleil or on some like big event. Well, you know to do it, but do you know how to act it, to perform it? That's 2 different things. So yes, definitely, if you want to be a good artist, you have to understand. I say on one part, you have to take it as any entrepreneur. You have to learn about the business, how it works, how you develop it, what kind of marketing do you need, how do you apply that marketing. Talk to your agent, find an agent. Don't worry about finding just one agent and then that's it. I'm set. I have an agent. No, not all the agents are good. Not all the agent gets you and no understand what you do or what you want to do. It should be like a teamwork also. So talk to your agent. If you have an agent who doesn't have time to talk to you, then it's maybe not the good agent for you. Explain to him what you want to do in terms of entrepreneurship also, where you want to go with your act or different acts, or when you do a casting, what you're looking for, what you're good at, what you want to be better at. It's being an artist or being a director or being a choreographer, it's constant re-questioning on what you do. Do I do it well? Can I improve? Yes. So even now, I'm going to be 50 this year, and I can improve, and I will always improve, because it gets you also excited. And if you're excited, your creation is going to be exciting. It's a cascade of knowledge. So keep learning about business and keep learning about creativity. Go take a class, a martial art class. Go take a stunt class. Like, how many times, I had to do stunts for movies because a circus performer could bring that sparkle and in the stunt more than a regular stuntman. How many times, like right now, I'm a stunt coordinator for a lot of projects. So it was for musical product, for a project like with Britney Spears and stuff, where I was stunt coordinator, because he had that reflection, artistic reflection in it. But I just did it as a simple action for a TV series like two months ago. So you see, being a circus artist or a circus creator, you need to be really ready for anything. And you need, if you want to survive, you need to understand how the business works, because you're really gonna miss out on some stuff that would have been very good for you. So keep learning, not only on the artistic side, keep learning and to the business side.
Well, I'll just ask one more question, Seb, and
Yeah.
in like 1 minute or less, this is ripping off of what you were just speaking about. What should artists be prepared for when they're working in new, unfamiliar territory with their skills? Thank you.
So that was what be prepared for. They're working. Oh yeah. Yes, they need to, definitely. They need to adapt. That's their responsibility. You're an artist. You decided to be an artist. Your responsibility is to deliver the job. Okay, it's so you need to adapt. First, it would be the word adapt big in your head. You start in a production. You are in a troupe. You are in the cast for a movie, for anything. You're live. You have to adapt. That means what? You, even if it's a solo, you need to be open to the people who hire you. They're waiting for something. The producer, the director, the choreographer, they need for you to do something. You have to deliver that. So you need to adapt. If you're part of a cast or of a group, you need to listen. You need to listen to the director. You need to listen to your coworkers, to the other artists. Sometimes, most of the time, they come from a different country, a different background, a different techniques. It's free. It's there for you. You pass. Okay, you did the audition. You get the job. Now it's time for you to deliver, to perform, to give the best of you, but also to learn from the other. Every contract should be a learning experience that makes you even stronger and better at what you do. So you need to adapt and listen. It's really, really important. It's not about you by yourself and, never mind what's going on the side. It's no, actually take the energy, take the experience from the people. It's going to make you even shine harder. But what is important, by adapting, you'll be ready for your next job and the next job and the next job, and you're going to be able to get to get older in doing the same job, because your experience is going to be priceless. So adapt, and learn.
Thank you for teaching us how to adapt and learn, Seb. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
My pleasure. It was great. Anytime.
Thank you, Seb, for teaching us how to think like an acrobat. Because to think like an acrobat means reaching beyond the normal realms and capacities of known circus territory in order to expand opportunities and interconnectedness within the performing arts world at large. This is the AAA segment, or Ask an Acrobat portion of our show, where I answer questions that we didn't get to in the interview, questions that you can send in to me, and it's also my extra thoughts about the episode in general. So I think what we learned from this episode is be adaptable. We couldn't have gotten it from a more brilliant human being, because really, the innovativeness that you've seen now with Circus being in all these different environments and spaces is really, come from Stella and his approach to Circus and his approach to infusing Circus in so many different spaces. Again, things that, are normal now. I think it's really important to hear from somebody that was a part of all of that. And then you see people that started to take from that and started to see like what was possible. And, now it's just kind of like everywhere and in everything, but it doesn't work all the time. And I think it takes a very special, specific person with experience like Stella, especially in terms of safety, to be able to project Circus and choreograph and direct Circus, and reminding yourself also too that you don't always have somebody like a Stella in your production, especially when it's production where they're putting you in it and you're maybe the only circus performer. And then also too, if you're on the other end of that, you're a director or choreographer and you are, working with non-circus people and trying to project them into a circus space, how difficult that can be as well in adapting to that. I was talking to Seb afterwards and he was speaking about how, there's a project that they didn't bring him in on initially, but after so many problems and struggles, way later, they decided to bring him back. And that happens, I would say, more often than not, especially because circus is pretty much everywhere and people want to figure out every single space that they can put circus in, and they will do it. And there's a cost though, because they can't always do it safely. And that's the truth. And so it's very important, in my opinion, to protect yourself while you're trying to project your creativity, your artistry, and your professionalism and entrepreneurship into a new and innovative circus arena. I know it looks very simple, it looks very easy. It looks like it just kind of happens and it comes together. I've been in a lot of shows that did not work, even though they continued on because there were big budgets and things like that. But the day-to-day was not super successful because there's a lot of people involved that do not know circus and do not know how circus works, do not know how circus vibes. And so you have to, be prepared for that because there's a lot of pressure, even more so now on circus artists, to be able to produce in these very unique arenas and spaces, which I think is really cool and interesting. I'm an artist that has loved to be in all sorts of different types of productions. I think that's very healthy, especially from the beginning, because then you're not really afraid to go into a lot of spaces. And when you know your rights to like what you can do, that's also important because you're going to be with a lot of people that feel like they can have a lot of high expectations of you, especially people that don't understand what you're doing, but see you doing it very well and very easily and very fluidly. So I would also say, again, I love what Seb said about, being a director, choreographer, that it's not about you, that it's about the space. And I've also seen that too, people getting very caught up in their concepts about like what their image is and what they want to do. And if they would only listen to the artist, they could probably get there most likely in an easier way and still get what they want and get there safely. But it's somewhat difficult sometimes, I've seen, for that symbiosis to happen or for that communication to happen. You're again fortunate enough to work with somebody like Stella, who is very open and who knows what it's like also too to be an artist. And not saying that you have to have that kind of background to be a good director, producer, choreographer, because I've also worked with people too that were really cool and interesting and open. And I think that that's also too what it takes to be good in this business, especially now, where you understand that there's limitations for yourself as somebody who does not have the circus basis, and that you're open to what the artists, performers have to say. Because a lot of it can be essential and help you to fill in those gaps so that you can actually get to where you're going to and everybody can be satisfied, because at the end of the day, it's about making a lot of clients happy. And sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do when you're projecting yourself into an innovative space, and that can be a lot of pressure innovating and coming to a new space. And remember that it's somewhat always challenging for everyone, and it's not just you. So whether you're a choreographer, director, producer, or an artist yourself, or a non-artist, trying to project yourself into a new and innovative space that has circus in it, just know that I have been on so many different productions, Seb has as well, where it's complicated and sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it works, but then in a different way than you originally thought that it would. And that's how you learn new skills and you take that on to the next job that makes that next new innovative space that much better. So ask an acrobat so that you can think like an acrobat. Here are the top 5 takeaways from how to direct for yourself, masterfully projecting circus into new performance arenas with Innovator, Sebastien, Stella. Number 1, being as adaptable as you can possibly be as an artist is the secret to being successful in new arenas and unique circus spaces. Number 2, stay open during the creative process. Number 3, become well-rounded as an artist in several different fields of artistry and study and grow into different versions of yourself as a performer to maximize your working potential. Number 4, as a director or choreographer, the work is not about you or your own personal vision. It's about who you are working with, and the focus should be on them. And number 5, safety requirements and checks should be non-negotiable and consistent throughout any production or project. Today we learned how to direct for ourselves from innovator and choreographer Sebastien Stella. Please send in your video or audio questions about what you want to learn in a Think Like an Acrobat episode to news@circustalk.com. Thanks again for tuning in for Circus Practicality with Shenea Stiletto.